Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
I don't know. There's an X-Files episode that's some sort of bullshit. All their titles are some sort of bullshit, like Memento Mori. So of course they got one of these. Of course they do.
Yeah, you're gonna have to throw one in there.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched 28 years later. Has it really been that long?
No, actually.
Thank God.
24. Look, I had to count.
There were so many dead. Infected and non-infected alike.
That's why our home is so precious.
No, 23, actually. 23.
All right.
But yeah, in the theater, I almost had a heart attack.
It's
not fair. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair.
It should be against the law.
I just assumed they'd wait for 28 years, but I can see Danny Boyle just being like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm kind of glad they didn't, right? Like 28 months later or whatever, was that made 28 months?
Weeks later.
Weeks? Was that made 28 weeks later?
Yep.
It was?
That was the one with Robert Carlyle and Jeremy Renner and Rose Byrne.
I don't remember that one as well. I got to watch that one.
I've only seen, honestly, both of the first two I've only seen one time. I seen pieces of 28 Days Later a second time. Like it was a popular DVD that would be playing in the background at your friend's house in the aughts, like in the early mid-aughts. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Here, I wanted to talk about this at the top of it because I think you and I are the same here. I wasn't particularly blown away by 28 Days Later.
No, I wasn't at all. Like, I mean, it was cool to... I was more jazzed about the idea of it. It's like, oh, frick, Danny Boyle is making a zombie movie, and it's like modern, and it's going to be shot in this like cool, like handheld way, and it just wasn't.
The methods are cool. Yeah.
It was a cool. Yeah, it was well done, and I just didn't. It just didn't. I was always a little disappointed with it because it wasn't a zombie movie really in the sense that, I mean, it is, and it's still playing with the same sort of bleak subject matter and the same sort of ideas and themes that get kicked around in zombie movies. It was just, I don't know, there was something about it that just never. I was like, okay, this is fine. I don't know. I think I was getting kind of tired of zombies at that point too.
That's what I was gonna say. It was more about of its time, and what I mean is that like I've grown to appreciate the filmmaking aspect of that movie a lot more, and what it was trying to do, and like the speed in which the zombies change is really cool.
That's cool. Like that's
and
still
the blood in the eye stuff.
I had forgotten about that. So in the opening of this one, I was reminded of that. The rapidity with which people change. That's a really cool idea. That's like it's so intense. Like I forgot how intense that is. It's like within seconds of being bitten.
Yeah. I think fast zombies I was already getting a little sick of them.
Well, they hadn't really hit yet for me.
Or maybe it wasn't until this created it.
It was this and then the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead 2 years later.
Yep. And then I also remember the opening of 28 Days Later I thought was stupid because it's a group of like animal rights people letting a monkey go where the guy's like, it's infected with rage, don't let it go. And it just felt like the zombie apocalypse was started very stupidly. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that's probably how it would start. Stupidly, I mean.
COVID.
Exactly.
Like, the world is way more stupid than we ever thought.
Yeah. So it's all to say that, like, I feel like I owe it a rewatch in my in my later years as the light dims within me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I start making my own Tower of Skulls.
Exactly. But what did you think of this movie?
I liked this one a lot, actually.
Yeah, which isn't a hot take. Critics liked it too. It is
Okay.
not the film I expected, and I really liked it. I didn't expect to tear up during this.
I didn't expect to openly weep during this movie, Dave.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is
Like this.
It is fucking.
I did not see this one coming.
No, I also didn't expect it to also have a big floppy dick in the movie that
Several.
would make me tear up.
Several. And then one, like King Kong hog.
Right, and then
like Hogzilla.
zombie hunting ninjas. Like it had
In
a lot.
tracksuits.
Yeah, it had a lot of. It was a wide spectrum.
Looking like
and
Russian rappers from 1998.
Yeah. And the trailer made me think it was going to be gnarly in a specific way. Like, for example,
It is
you
gnarly.
see Ray Fiennes and all the skulls, right, in the trailer.
Yes.
And I just thought, like, oh, that guy's a fucking nut. That guy's going to do some, and he's covered in red.
Yeah.
And so, like, and then there's like people in masks and stuff like that in the trailer. And you're like, okay, this is going to be like cult shit. And I remember people like speculating of like, yeah, there's going to be like cults and this fucked up shit. And it's actually like about people being generally decent to each other. And
Yeah.
And like, and just like, it's more about like a drama, sad drama. Like, it's not much of a horror movie. It's not much of a, not in a bad way.
No, I this felt very Day of the Dead to me, which is honestly my favorite George Romero zombie movie. Which is sort of like, okay, well, life goes on. So where do we go from here is sort of what those movies ask.
Yeah,
And,
you need to.
Oh, sorry?
Oh, sorry. No, you continue.
This one felt like kind of a mix between a little bit of the ideas of Day of the Dead, more of the tone and vibe of Day of the Dead with some of the ideas of Land of the Dead. Because the zombies have clearly started to form their own communities at this point. Like it's been 3 decades.
Yeah,
And they're not dead; they're living people. They just have this virus infection. So
yeah, I think
they're
going to
just
explore that more and more. Yeah,
I mean, that's they definitely got more into that on this one. But
Land of the Dead, I liked.
Me too. Yeah, I didn't like it as much as Day of the Dead though, because I felt like. I liked the where do we go from here in Day of the Dead more, I guess. Like Land of the Dead is so bleak. And I mean, Day of the Dead is too, but like it's hopeful in the way that this movie is hopeful in that it's both about like generational things. Like it's not by accident that Jodie Comer, who is the mother, mistakes the little boy for, in sequence, him, his dad, and her dad, like the 3 men in her life, basically, who have been caretakers at different points, and now her son is the caretaker.
Right.
And then there's also, there's the idea of like Ray Fiennes and death, and how death is sort of is what sort of unites us all. It makes us all like inseparably bonded. Is that we are all going to die.
Right. In the end, we're just another skull. On the pile.
It's indistinguishable.
That really shook me.
That
we'll get to
yes,
it, I guess.
The
first skull shook me.
Yeah.
Because it's this idea of how quickly.
This guy was talking minutes ago.
Exactly. And now he's just
dead.
Skull.
Now he's just a faceless skull.
Yeah.
And it's just a small family story about protecting your kids from the wrong things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it begins with Aaron Taylor Johnson taking the kid out to go shoot zombies just for no reason. Like they're crossing into zombie territory,
basically.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. You get your first kill, and the idea is you need to get numb to this so you can kill these things when we have to, because we do occasionally have to go to the mainland for supplies.
And he's basically saying, like, they're not people.
Yeah,
they're just things. And like he might be technically, I mean, as we see, no, he's not right. But like
he knows he's not right. In that scene, he sees like an adolescent zombie and doesn't shoot her.
Oh, right. He doesn't shoot it.
He doesn't shoot her.
You're right.
And then you realize, oh, he just ambushed a family.
Right.
He just ambushed a family unit. Like you can identify the different members of the family.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is that like the idea of a zombie virus, there's different versions where it's like the person's dead already.
Mm-hmm.
They're just the fungus in The Last of Us. They do good with this because they don't explore this at all in The Last of Us, where they're like, no, they're just appendages of a fungus.
Brain has been taken over. It's a real thing. So it's like we don't even need to speculate on how this would work.
Right.
This is what
and
it would do.
They're like, yeah, they're not people. We don't have to worry about it. But like
just
in
mushroom
this,
monsters at that point.
Another movie you should watch that I know you haven't watched that we probably will watch because we have a series where we will probably have to watch it is Maggie. Maggie is a movie
the Arnold one,
similar to this because there's this like zombie apocalypse. There's the stages, right? Which is like, the apocalypse part is like when you make that movie, it's just, oh shit, we got to run. Yeah. There's monsters. You got to kill them.
Zombies.
We got to get away. Yeah.
Oops, all zombies.
And then it becomes like the cool stage where it's like, okay, now we're living in the zombie apocalypse. Other people are the threat, other factions.
Yeah.
Maggie is very much, this isn't a spoiler, it's the synopsis, or it's the opening pitch. It is way post-apocalypse zombie. Like society is starting to become, like it's starting to become,
I liked that.
Yeah, like stores are opening and shit. But there's still zombies.
It's a little...
But they're so spread out. I think you see one zombie in the movie, and it's more about the sadness stage of like it's like so many people died, and we're just sad now. And that's like the third. And that's kind of what this is. It felt like,
kind of, yeah.
Like, yeah, we're just in the part where we get to actually stand back and think about what happened.
It's also about the resilience of humanity. Like they keep splicing in footage of old wars and
we've dealt with this shit before. We've like this idea that it's sort of reset as a society a little bit. But just in this one place, I love the aspect of the soldier coming in who's just like,
he's just some dipshit.
Yeah,
like the rest of the world is normal.
Yeah,
it's just the UK.
Yeah, which is fun. That's a little bit of what was that fucking movie? The movie I'm thinking of.
Escape from New York?
Escape from New York. Is it Outbreak? No, not Outbreak. Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a movie.
That's a film.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is circling, like you're saying, like at first, like so like the first stage is the dad taking him out and basically, like you're saying, teaching him the wrong things, essentially.
Yeah, and fucking up horrendously. And like getting chased by King Dingaling, the zombie chieftain.
Yeah.
Because they're going over they're doing raids basically. It's the same thing as the zombies storming into their place. It's like you're coming here for no reason, man. And then they get stuck.
The zombies at this point, they're like animals where like later you see Ray Fiennes and he's not killing them. He's sort of existing within them.
Well, he respects, it's very, very clear the amount of, man, as we get to him, he's this crazy doctor who's been living out alone in quarantined wilderness in the UK for 3 decades.
Yep, covered in iodine, just making
covered in iodine, yeah, because apparently
making
it thwarts the virus. Yeah, making an art piece. He's piled bones and skulls all up these trees, and he's just made essentially this gigantic shrine.
Yeah, you sort of, I don't know, but I knew he was going to be good just based off the story the dad says of him, where they're like, don't go to him, he's crazy. And they're like, what do you mean? And he tells a story of
how he was like laying out bodies.
Yeah, and then he just waves casually, and I'm like, oh, he's probably just collecting bodies then. Like he's probably disposing of bodies.
Right, like I was thinking to myself, it's like, and he's wearing like a mask, like a thing over his, like a surgical mask, like a
he's just disposing bodies.
Right, like it's like he tells that story to the kid. He's like, we ran and never looked back. And I'm like, he's a doctor. I can think of at least 3 different medical reasons you might do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it could also just be he wants to bury these people to give them dignity. Like,
right. He has
there
them in
are
a
a
graveyard
number
type.
of reasons you might collect these bodies.
But Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think we're supposed to sort of know that he's kind of bullshit. You know, like the idea of him is he's very like, you know, he's very toxic masculinity. He's very like, this is his way of surviving. Like, you don't hate him or anything.
No, you understand why he has the frailties that he does. Like, we see that he's having an affair with another woman while he's still married to Jodie Comer, but it's very clear that Jodie Comer is dying, and she's delirious most of the time and doesn't really know where she is or what's happening. So you're like, like,
right. It's hard. It must be hard. For
it's
him.
like it's got to be impossible.
And he looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson.
And he looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson. So
thrown
it
at
is
him left
being
and right.
thrown at him.
Yeah. In this fucking village? Are you kidding
me? All the kids are his.
Yeah, it's like it's like, all right, we either fuck him or this guy who looks like a Harry Potter professor. Yeah. Like those are your options.
Yeah, we either fuck him or Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah, and so
he
like
was in the first one.
Yeah, he sure
Ironically, he gets a mad eye.
Yeah. So like that, I agree with that. Where it's like he's not like that. Like he's got some toxic masculinity in him.
A little bit,
but he's not like beating his kid. He's not like he's punching the wall.
Yeah, and
literally
you see
punching the wall.
Where the kid, like, man. So it's a really good scene. Yeah. It's basically he goes out hunting with his dad, and his dad is really gassing him up, but is also like being really overbearing about exposing him to this violence and exposing him so early. And I think he's doing it early because he knows mom is dying.
I think so too. I think it's also just a rite of passage. They show
it's a rite of passage, and
they show that they're like you can have one of like 7 jobs, and one of them is hunter and gatherer, and it's like, you're gonna have to know how to.
Yeah,
it's like learning. It's like a kid going through like football, like it felt like at school.
But remember, they're all telling him that it's a couple of years too early.
Yeah. Right.
So I think anyway.
But yeah, it's treated again. The community is treating it like when he comes home, he tells the story. Everybody they let him drink a beer, and he's telling the story, and he's making the kid more heroic in the story.
He's gassing him up, yeah. But the story is complete bullshit.
Right,
it's like a total lie.
Yeah, and you can again. It's not like
and it's not maliciously so.
Exactly. Like when the kid fucks up at first, and they're trapped in the house, he takes him aside and goes, "This wasn't your fault. You did great." Like he's not like
and
mean
that's
to
correct.
The kid.
Like
exactly.
he doesn't go the extra step and say this was my fault, but he does make it clear that it's not the kid's fault. So yeah, he's not a total scumbag. He just like
he's just kind of a tool.
He's
they're doing a good job at showing the nuance of a guy who like you wouldn't really necessarily like, but you don't find him evil.
No,
where you're like this guy isn't like a Hitler. You know, like he's not even beating his family. He's not even like the level of like, I don't know, a cop where it's like,
he's fucking up in very understandable ways.
Yeah. He's kind of this guy who's dealing with an impossible
situation.
I think he's a reflection, honestly, of the soldier who shows up later, kind of. Where it's like they're kind of like he would probably hang out with that guy under different circumstances, or be a similar like, but like he's just sort of a macho man who's treating every it's a hammer and every problem's a nail. Like it's that,
and and he's shielding him from the wrong things. Like it would have helped the kid out way more. And Jodie Comer eventually says this to him later on in the film during one of her moments of lucidity, but it would have helped him way more for them to just tell him that his mother's terminally ill.
Yes.
Instead of being like they're telling him, "Oh, there's no doctors. We don't know what's wrong with your mom." I mean, when his dad tells him that, it's you can tell he's lying. Like, oh, he knows exactly what's wrong with her. We know what's wrong with her.
Right, and they also show a moment where, again, they sort of make his case for him, where there's a part where he tells the mom that what they're doing. They're going out and bringing him out hunting, and she gets upset, and she's like, "Are you fucking crazy? You're gonna have him killed." And then she forgets, and the boy's like, "I'm gonna go now, Mom." She's like, "Where?" And he just goes, "School," because like he realizes how much easier it is to just lie.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening to him too.
Yes.
Is like, and Ray Fiennes, of course, represents the other side of that later, where he's like, "I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I'm going to hand you a skull. Like, I'm going to just tell you what's happening, and I'm going to do the work to explain to a child why that's natural. I'm also going to give you a little bit of morphine to help.
He's
I'm going to dope you up a little bit." He is death.
He's death, but he's like the comforting version of death.
Yeah.
In as much as it can be comforting. Like, that's the whole, obviously he's surrounded by a monument to death.
Right.
And they come visit him to help his mother. And what does he do? He euthanizes her.
Yeah.
Because it's what she wants.
Yeah,
and
she wants it.
She wants it. And they explain to him, like, man, there's a lot of moments, but it's like, there's a lot of moments I wanted to bring up, but they have this, Ray Fiennes has this speech that he gives him about, like, memento mori, we're gonna die. Remember death. It's like, we will die. All of us will. We're all gonna just be these nameless skulls, but he's talking about it in such like a gentle, comforting way, and how it's in the thing that just binds us all. And then he's like, the best thing you can, there's many different types of death. Like, we have to experience one of them.
Right.
So he's like, the best one you can experience is a peaceful one surrounded by people you love.
Or T-Rex.
Yeah. This is a cool way to die.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
And he really is, like, I didn't even occur to me, he is death. And like the other thing that makes him death is that while he's doing this, you kind of, I don't know about you, I kind of got the vibe that he was a little excited to get some skulls. Like, he's also just like, ooh, new skulls.
Ooh, new skulls, yeah.
Yeah, where he's like more than happy to do this, and he's really sweet about it. But he is making a monument to death, and I think part of him is like, yeah, every new skull, like, I don't know, it's good for my like he is death in the sense that he has embraced death to some degree, the beauty of death, and so he openly invites it. He doesn't cause it,
no,
but he's not going to fight it, and in fact, it just seems like he's like a little pumped to have some new skulls.
Yeah,
this is what he does.
Enjoy these skulls.
Yeah. It's really good, like that.
Yeah.
Character, because it is true, like the comforting thing about death, at least that I've always had, is that it happens to everyone.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you have to assume it can't be that bad if it happens to everyone. Like, it's the one thing we're all guaranteed. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, you sort of have to accept it and embrace it and make it part of your life. And that's it's about that. It's about accepting, like, the fallibility of your parents. It's a coming of age, right? It's about a little boy learning that his parents
leaving home.
And learning that his parents are just people.
Yeah. They're not invincible. They're not,
his dad's kind
infallible.
of a dipshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's like, it's a bunch of that where it's like he has to learn too early because it's a brutal world. But like in a way, like, Aaron Taylor Johnson isn't, like, you can see where he's coming from, right?
Yeah.
It's a brutal world. I want my kid. He brings him out there and people are like, you're going to get him killed. And it's like, it could happen anytime.
Could happen any moment. Yeah.
There's sort of that idea of like this community versus the rest of the world. Like, you could, I guess, just live in this community. You could be, I don't know if they have podcasts, but there's other jobs, right?
There's other jobs we could do.
Yeah. I'm sure there's other stuff we could do in this community.
We could do the Watchtower. We could sit up there and watch for zombies.
Yeah. They had people like making clothes and doing food and stuff like that. So like there's a version of this community where a person can just hang out there. It seems like. But
Yeah,
like,
not everybody needs to go to the mainland to gather supplies, but like we see that they go over there for wood, and they have they basically have a tree farm.
Right. Because no one's going to help them. It's clear their quarantine is not going away in their lifetime.
No, never. It's never going away. It says at the beginning the people there are left to fend for themselves.
Yeah. I just mean in the sense that it's like, I don't know, maybe in 50 years or something. Like, I don't know how geopolitics will change. Like, it does feel like the army could get some people out of there and help. Like, it does.
Yeah.
I get it. It's zombies. I get it. It does feel like there was like an in-between they could have pulled off, but whatever. They just gave up. They're like, fuck it. We don't need
They did
England.
just kind of gave up.
I mean, I get it.
Also,
probably the moment America was like, I'm not going over there. And they're like, all right, well.
I guess nobody is.
Yeah, we're just closing it.
Yeah. Just put a big net up
surprised.
in the English Channel.
Yeah, they are going to make 2 more of these.
Are they?
Obviously. Oh yeah, I think there's one already listed called, I think it's called like The Bone something, The Boners. Let's see. Oh wait, looks like Danny Boyle isn't attached to it. That's interesting. Let's see. It's Alex. I think Alex Garland is. Yeah. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. There's a script. Oh no, it says post-production. In 2026. And so I think it might get into like after this one, the vibe feels like, okay, we said the thing. Now let's just do, oh shit, directed by Nia DaCosta.
Okay.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm in. She did Candyman.
Yeah.
Alex Garland wrote, I think Alex Garland is just juiced up, is just like, oh yeah, I got some more.
I'm gonna crank some
I got
of these
some more
out.
ideas. Yeah. And that's what the ending's a cliffhanger, sort of. It's
Kinda.
it's bookended with this little kid whose dad, who is just a maniac, who's like, it's the rapture.
Yeah.
Take my cross and watch me get eaten. And the kid runs off. And the whole movie, you're sort of waiting for the cross that he's wearing. You're like, who was the kid?
And they tease it like Jimmy is coming. They find like zombies who are strung up with Jimmy carved into them.
And the ending is the kid meeting Jimmy, who seems like he could be a good guy, but maybe not, perhaps. Well, he might be a problem.
I think he's like a
problem.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I think he's like he's useful in certain situations, but like keep your distance.
Because they see a guy hung up, right? And it's clear like he's the cult guy. He's the weird cult guy.
Yeah. He's Jimmy.
Yeah. And so like you get Negan vibes off of him where you're like, this kid, he's going to be a problem. Someone's going to have to kill Jimmy at some point. Or he'll save us all. I don't know.
He might save us all, his team of tracksuit ninjas.
Yeah. But it ends with the kid basically shaking his hand after Jimmy watches him take out some zombies and goes like, mind if we help? Because the kid, they find a baby, by the way. They do they do a zombie baby, but they in this world they're like, well, the uterus basically
placenta protected the
or placenta, yeah. And so he drops off the baby and tells his dad like, I got to go do some stuff. Mom's dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mom's dead now. Here's a baby. I'll come back when I'm good and ready, Dad.
Yeah. But yeah, what were you expecting this movie to be?
I don't know. I kind of wasn't really surprised with what it was. Like I was expecting it to be, like I said, sort of a where do we go from here? And that's what it is. It's just like it's we've lived in this world for so long now. Like what you were saying earlier about Maggie. It's like it's life has gone on. So where are we? What does this look like? And let's just tell a smaller story in the scope of this larger world, because at this point, it's not going to be a movie about like finding a cure. It's like we're fucking 3 decades into this.
I thought it was going to be way more fun and games, I guess. Based off the trailer, I thought it was Alex Garland, Danny Boyle just taking a victory lap. Just like, fuck it. Like that was what I thought it was going to be. I guess this is weird to say. I didn't expect them to try this hard. to make a meaningful dramatic story.
I mean, they're coming back to it after almost 25 years.
Right. And it's like, I really appreciated this. I guess I more cynically thought, oh, this is just going to be gnarly and fun. Like the first act was more of what I thought. And that's them kind of getting their jollies out, it felt like, where they're like, okay, we'll go on this little adventure.
Yeah.
I thought what was going to happen is they're going to get cut off from the island. And then we're going to get them meeting all the crazy cults and going out and some gnarly shit and like, you know, just like, okay,
yeah, and that would have been really dull, I think. That's like, okay.
I agree. Yeah, this was so much better because then it becomes like there is action, but the action, like the movie basically, like the climax is a boy holding his mother's skull.
Yeah.
Dealing with that. Like there's not like there's like a little more zombie after that. But it's not like, oh, we got to get out. We got to go. Like, oh, God, we almost didn't make it. Like that stuff. Like, it's not an action film. It's not a horror in the sense, again, that it's like it has horror elements. It's mostly a drama.
Yes.
I thought. Like, the climax is dramatic as opposed to, like, like, he just gets home. Like, the yada yada, him getting back. That's not
walks
important.
back, yeah.
Yeah. Like the zombies, they are a threat. They are a threat to that poor young man.
Oh yeah. He's had to
fatality.
Yeah, that fucking guy. Holy shit, just ripping people's heads off, pulling their spines out.
He has
just his move.
Yeah, he's got a thing. I love when he does that to one of the soldiers and then hits the other.
Yeah, it's great. It was a real Dead Alive moment.
It was really cool in the sense that like the movie does technically I don't want to say it meanders, but like the part with the soldier, like again, I'm doing that math where the soldier shows up and he's kind of a dick, and I'm like, oh, is Spike gonna have to like kill this guy? Is he gonna have to stand up to him? You know, is he gonna be? And he's a dick at first, where he's like, all right, I'm leaving you behind, but then he's just like, all right, I'll carry your mom. And he like ends up being like a nice enough guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
like,
dipshit, but he's not a bad guy.
Exactly, where it's like you sort of see, like he shoots the pregnant zombie after she gives birth to the baby.
You got to. He waits until she lunges.
Exactly.
To his credit.
Like he shoots her a lot sooner than I thought he'd shoot her. You know, like it's like, all right.
Or a lot later, rather.
Oh, right. A lot later, yeah. And then he just gets his head pulled off. And I think his use was really for that skull scene of like, we know this guy enough to be, he's a dipshit, but he's our dipshit at this point.
Right. And what he says when Ray Fiennes asked, did you know him? And the kid nods and he said, he saved our lives. That's all he says about him. He doesn't say like, he's kind of an asshole. He's a little bit dipshit.
Right. He doesn't forget that about him. He keeps, it keeps being that where when his mom is like pointing out that he's a dick, he's like, Mom, he saved our lives.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure in this world that means a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like it's probably really easy to let people die and not even be a monster for it in this universe.
Yeah, when he's initially really pissed at them. Because he's like, Can you help me get out of here? And the kid's like, no. It's like, can you give me any like supplies or anything? No. It's like, all right, then why did I waste my bullets helping you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, right. Nobody has guns here.
Yeah. No, this guy has a magic wand.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
They do. The soldiers do really poorly, by the way, for having machine guns fighting 6 zombies. They really get fucked up.
They really do.
Yeah.
Well, there's this implication. I liked it of that. I honestly thought this character was going to exist more because there's like a coming of age aspect to this where he's almost like Big Brother.
A little bit, yeah, because he's super young.
Right. And he's sort of like...
He's maybe 10 years older than this kid.
And he's kind of a dick to the kid, but he's also like oh, you don't know about blank? You don't know about this? You know, like it's that vibe.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh my God, this kid is so sheltered. So it kind of feels like the cool kid in the neighborhood showing you porn. Yeah. You know, where he's just
he shows him a picture of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or his ex-girlfriend.
What's wrong with her? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what's wrong with her face? She's got the collagen limbs.
Yeah.
There's a fun bit with him. There's another fun. Part of that character is fun in games, although I did appreciate that he like resonates with the theme in a couple of ways, like we just mentioned.
Right.
But like he's also fun to. You're like, oh right, this kid wouldn't know what any of this is. So it was fun to like experience that part of like this dude just like rambling about like social media and Amazon and shit like that, and this kid has no fucking idea what he's talking about because he's grown up in Zombieland.
Right. I like that he's not particularly impressed either.
No, he has no frame of reference for it. There's no context for it.
The phone, he's like, what's that? And he's
like,
it's sort of like a radio, but it has pictures. And he's like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Do you guys have radios? He's like, no.
Yeah.
We don't.
I actually thought there's another direction you could have gone with this. And I think there's an interesting movie in this or an interesting commentary, because I actually thought this was going to be something they do, is you could make a movie about nostalgia this way. Because the idea is this is a group of people who are essentially frozen 28 years ago.
Yeah.
In like what they remember. And what, like, you know, the starting with Teletubbies and starting with all these kids, I thought that was maybe a direction they were going to go. And him with his superhero. The Teletubbies scene is great.
Well, you're just like, oh, man. That's really like these two guys coming back to this movie, Danny Boyle and Alex Garland being like, okay, you want to see something gnarly?
Well, it's also thematically, it fits. It's about the shattering of innocence, right?
Yes.
And so it's these kids in a room watching Teletubbies.
Shielding them from the wrong thing.
Yeah, and all the kids are sitting there scared because it's happening already, and they've just been putting the kids in the room with Teletubbies like, don't worry. And the kids clearly are like, no,
know what's happening.
Something is wrong. Yeah. They're trying to pretend like nothing's wrong, and it's like, no, something's wrong. And then, the kids
zombies
get eaten.
Burst in there and just rip these kids apart.
Except for Jimmy.
It was
Jimmy
terrible.
Gets away.
Jimmy does get away.
Jimmy's slippery. Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about what Jimmy represents with all of this of like, I mean, is that why maybe Jimmy will be an exploration of nostalgia, like the ninja stuff, the weird tracksuits. Like there's a part where the kid has a Power Ranger, right? And it is again a thought of like that of like, oh yeah, it's not Iron Man, it's a Power Ranger because he's stuck 28 years in the past.
I don't remember if this was in the episode or in the random nonsense before, but we did say that these guys look like Russian rappers from 1998.
Yeah. And I think there's probably an element of like...
So there's a reason why these guys look like some of the hoodlums in Snatch.
Right. I think they're going to explore that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like...
I think Jimmy is just like another version of what happens to Spike.
Right. It's interesting
his
ways to...
fucking weird-ass parents really fuck him over.
Movies about people like Frozen, it just seems like, I don't know, this is what the Minecraft movie failed to do, where it's like you have a guy who's literally been trapped in a world for like 30 years or however long that's very unclear. You could do a thing about someone who's, you know, they started to do it a little bit of like someone who's permanently like, you know, in a stage of like being a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, Star-Lord, they did that with. So
yes, yeah.
When he runs into Spider-Man, there's like a delightful moment where it's like an actual cool kid who's like aware of the world versus this guy who has his fucking knowledge of the world is 30 years old.
Yeah, it's at least.
So like they do that. They don't do that much here because the little kid, but there's an element of that that's like that could have been the movie. Like that could have been the whole movie. It could have been him going out on his own, meeting this kid, and him and this kid, or this 20-year-old or whatever, having a fucking back and forth. So I just thought it was interesting where this movie goes because it sort of, I kept trying to like go like, okay, so this is what the movie's going to be, and then it kept changing, and I really liked that because it didn't feel like it was a rambling.
No,
it
still felt connected. Like we've been saying.
it feels like it's written by someone who's written a lot of things and was like, how can I keep people on their toes?
Right. And also just like they're also aware that this needs to be a movie, or like it needs to be a certain kind of movie in order to get made and released in theaters. So like it may seem initially, and it certainly did to me, when the soldiers show up in the middle, it's like, what? This is just so we can have some more random zombie violence and action. And yes, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But also, like we've been saying, it is woven completely into the theme of the movie.
Right, because the crux of the story,
like
weirdly
that character
enough,
becomes important in the climax.
Yeah, because this must have been hard. I don't know if this was hard to write, because it does feel like they thought of Spike's story and they're like, well, that's 30 minutes of movie unless you find stuff, or 40 minutes.
It'd be a little bit long because you still have the first chunk with his dad, and then he has to go back out there with his mom.
Right. And it's like,
as with the roles reversed.
Like, they do. It's like coming of age, where it's like, then he has a series of adventures. So,
yeah.
Adventures is a strong word for what he has, but
yeah.
Like the gas station, the soldier, but they work it in really nicely, ultimately setting up like the idea, like it basically, that soldier ultimately is a presentation of Ray Fiennes' like philosophy right away. It's like, I'm going to use this guy that you knew to demonstrate this thing about death, and then we're going to use it in a bigger, more emotional sense for this other character. And that worked really well.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many good like when the Spike knocks a couple of the skulls over, and Ray finds like, oh, and it's not precious in that way. That's part of it actually.
Yeah.
It's going to deteriorate over the time, and that's actually how this sort of monument will be completed.
They set up the part with the angel, another monument, and the mom is like, I didn't think it was going to last this long. And so it's this idea of like, what monuments sort of mean to people. And you don't really, I don't think she explains what that thing is.
No, it
reminds me
like a radar
of,
dish.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of like, there's when you're a child, there are like monuments in your life that just are there over the years, and you don't really think about what they mean. It's just like, oh, there's that weird statue that's always there.
Yeah, and you've attached a meaning to it. Like you've attached a memory to it.
Yeah.
Like that goofy-ass greasy spoon south of the border between North and South Carolina with some of the most racist advertising you can imagine. But others, I don't know, like seeing those billboards and driving past that part, it's like exactly what you're saying. It was a monument in my youth that I have attached specific meaningful memories to, like, road trips with my family, etc.
Yep. We had a polar bear. It was a blow up polar bear that was waving in Worcester, and every time we go to my grandma's, we'd wave to it. It became clear, like, over time, it's polar. That's the polar factor.
It's the polar, yeah.
Yeah, but like I didn't, as a kid, it's just, wave to the polar bear, and it would deflate every now and then. I don't think it's there anymore, but like, it's like little things like that. And that's going to be the Mountain of Skulls for some kids someday. Wave to the Mountain of Skulls, kids. We're passing the Mountain of Skulls.
Yep, honk the
but
horn.
that is the idea of like people get forgotten by largely, you know? Like there's an element of that in all of this, which is like, and like you said, like showing the old footage, like sort of about how we're kind of ants, like we're only remembered by the people close to us. Largely speaking, we're just a skull on the Mountain of Skulls. Like, but there are things about us that might remain, which is interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you take away from the mask stuff? Because they show the mask stuff in the trailer, and there's like the community. There's like a vibe of like the community feels like there's something a little sinister about it.
A little.
That maybe we'll learn more about later.
But it does seem like the mask is part of their community somehow.
Yeah. Like they
used to wear these masks and it was like an old way of doing things that they don't do anymore, or it's like an old foe that they conquered or defeated.
Yeah, there's definitely, again, like the night stuff, there's a implication of a lot of brutality that happened in this island. I felt like they have their own crests and stuff, and it looks like they're almost ordained by God. Like there's like, like shining lights on the thing, and like there's a lot in the imagery. It's no different than the founding of, say, America. But it's just interesting, like kind of flavoring throughout that it's like, it feels like civilization is, sort of, it's created on a mountain of skulls.
Yeah. They're pretty much in a frontier fort.
Yeah, I shouldn't say civilization in general, because I don't think that's true, but like
no,
a lot of civilizations. Yeah. And so like, I don't know, I like how it's this stage of the world where it's like, yeah, they're trying to get past brutality, but it's still kind of there.
Yeah.
And there's still, there's a lot of flavoring.
Kind of feels relevant, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah, there can be three movies of this.
Yeah.
They can
this is
sort
a
of
much more
deal.
cogent piece of commentary than Civil War.
Yes. And I would say in general, zombie apocalypse is way more interesting in this stage. Again, see Maggie.
Yeah.
I need to watch that again, but like it's a similar where you realize that like
it's like Fallout.
It's post-war. It's basically what we're doing is like post-war, where it's like it doesn't have to be zombie apocalypse, but zombie apocalypse really
it's post-ruin. Like it's post the fall.
Yes.
But it's like hitting the reset button where we are is always interesting.
Yeah. And I did like how Land of the Dead did it, where Land of the Dead isn't dealing with post-fall. It's more dealing with how like capitalism just
it's
like
people clinging to their meaningless wealth.
Exactly.
In the wasteland.
Yeah. I got to rewatch that movie. That movie's
pretty dope in that way.
Yeah.
Johnny Legs.
Man. Johnny Legs, man. Dennis Hopper. Good Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper killing his right-hand man in that movie is a fucking all-time moment.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, shit, get down. And then just shoots him in the back of the head.
Shoots him.
Fucking incredible moment.
What an asshole.
I know.
These are like, it's two sides of the same coin. I feel like it's just like, let's talk about the end of society. And like the versions of it. And this has elements of it, again, where the rest of the world is just like, oh yeah, we're carrying on.
The rest of the world's gone on, yeah, but that's another piece of commentary in and of itself, right? They just refuse to help.
Yeah. And they just don't, again, they don't even think about it. Like the way the soldier treats them like a novelty.
And we know full well how the rage virus works. So, and even though the soldiers, he tells them, it's like, no, once you step one toe on this in the UK, that's it. You're never leaving the quarantine. And it's like, but we know how rage works. Like we know they're not infected.
Right.
Like
yeah.
It's within seconds you turn into a Boogans.
Right. If anything, it's an easy quarantine.
It's a really easy quarantine. Yeah, it's very clear who's infected.
Yeah.
I think that guy might have it. Why do you mean? Well, he's just ripping rabbits in half.
Yeah. He's coming for us right now.
Oh no, wait.
He's running at us.
No, that's just Hal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Hal's different.
Yeah.
Oh man. I like also how that guy, when he's on the island, he's talking about like, yeah, if I want to go, I want to become one of the berserker guys. And he's sort of like, he's thinking about death of like, what his death might be. And like, he's thinking of a cool way for it to be. And then it's like, nope, skull on a pile.
Yep.
Like I love that idea of like, again, we even see him talking about his death, talking about how he's going to go. He recognizes that he probably could die because he's here, and it's still nothing like he probably would imagine.
Nope.
It's it's like fairly unceremonious, and then it's just like you're part of an art piece.
Skull on a pile, man.
Yep. You have helped the Banksy of the zombie world.
Yep. There was, I don't know.
He should have said he was Banksy.
He could have. There's nobody left to challenge that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, this, woof.
Yeah.
The climax of this film fucked me right up.
Yeah, it fucked me right up. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, fuck, man. It's just.
Yep. Man. They drug him so that he's kind of at peace. Well,
euthanizes his
Ray
mom.
Fiennes euthanizes his mom and then roasts her skull down and hands him the skull and says, find her a spot. Find her the best spot.
Yep. And he does give her prime
he climbs
real
it up to
estate.
the top and puts it on top. And man, when I tell you, all I can think of at that moment is we have had this curio cabinet my entire life.
No.
As long as I can remember, it would have like our china in it, and then it would also have these little crystal animals we would get from like this place in Holland when we were living in Europe and Germany and shit. And anyway, it's just this curio cabinet that's been following me my entire life. And my mother's ashes are in it.
Oh, man.
And it's like one of those things that she walked past 100,000 times. I don't know how many times over the course of our lives, how many times I walked past that thing.
Right.
And yeah, she and my stepdad are in that thing now. Like that's where my parents are. That's where they ended up. They're just
It's
in this
unreal,
curio
right?
cabinet. Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Because right now, there might be an object in your house
There is.
that you will be on someday.
Yeah. Yeah. There is an object in this room, likely, that my daughter's gonna have to throw away.
Right. That's fucking nuts.
It's wild. It's
surreal.
wild.
That's
Yeah.
what I think. That's what they captured so well.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird because it's a fucking skull. I mean, hopefully it's your skull on that cabinet someday.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but like to make it
Cremate the rest of me. Put the ashes like in my mouth.
right. And that's what, again, like the trailer, they show this thing of skulls and the internet, and people and myself assumed like that can't be good.
Can't be good. Ray Fiennes looks
can't be
like
a
he's
good
covered
place.
in blood, but then you very quickly learn that it's iodine.
Right. And then you think about like the Paris catacombs and stuff where it's like, no, it's morbid in a way that faces death head on. And this kid holding his mother's skull in such a brutal world that they're in is nothing. It might as well be her ashes, right? It's like it's
one of a million skulls.
Yeah,
in this monument.
But it shows that feeling so well, which is like she was just here and now she's this skull. She's this object. And it was like, holy shit. Like that's so weirdly profound in such a simple way.
Yeah.
That like,
yeah,
fuck, man, this movie. It's like for a movie with a huge zombie hog in it.
I did not expect this to be the climax.
Yeah.
Like I did not expect the climax of this movie to whiplash me back to them watching them wheel my mother out of the house.
Right.
And just being like, wow. Like hours ago, she crossed this room. Hours ago, she crossed this room. Now she's being wheeled out the front door for the last time.
It's fucked. It's so fucked. It's so surreal.
Yeah, and this movie fucking gutted me, man. I'm getting a little choked up right now, but like I did not fucking expect that in a zombie movie.
No.
I was like, y'all are ruthless.
You should definitely watch Maggie, because Maggie also, it doesn't go that hard, but it is that realization, right? I would say weirdly Train to Busan did this a little bit too, where they're like, zombies are sad. Like this is sad. Death is sad.
Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah. And
Death
like
is terrible.
Yeah. Man, what a movie. Yeah, I think this is a really good movie.
It is. Like, holy cow.
Yeah. Man.
I'm glad. I mean, obviously, Alex Garland still has it. I was just disappointed with Civil War.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Warfare. You should watch Warfare.
I haven't seen Warfare, yeah.
Warfare, I think, said what Civil War should have said a lot easier. Warfare has a lot of little details that you're like, oh, you nailed it. Like a lot of subtlety, and it's sort of like, it's like a real quick and easy, like, yeah, war sucks, doesn't it? And it's like, yep.
Kind of stupid, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
Really
like,
kind
I
of
think,
pointless.
I think Warfare did it better than Civil War, but I don't know. I figured, like, I don't think he'd lost his step, I guess, but like Warfare was really like a nice reminder of like, oh yeah, he is so good.
Yeah, man, shoot. I don't have anything else to say. I think I've said plenty about this movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
What an unexpected film.
I know. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Well, we have a Patreon.
Sorry, I just wanted to hit it one more time. Like, well, how can we top the last two and indeed every other zombie movie? Why make this now? How can we top that? It's like, I've got it. The climax will not have a single fucking zombie anywhere in sight.
Yep. That is, we're at that meta, like, post, like, where it's like
The Last
zombies.
of Us. Zombies are there. It is not about zombies.
No, not at all. The Walking Dead sort of set that up a bit, too.
A little bit, but it was still
they
about
didn't really,
zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. It's good. It's
good shit.
Good. You should watch Mads, by the way.
I do want to watch Mads as well.
Mads is the other side of it. Like, I remember being a little sad with the, but it's more about like, what's a new way to make zombies feel gnarly and fresh. It's not perfect, but boy, does it have some fucking moments. Anyway, yeah, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there for just $5 a month. You get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys, and our brand new supernatural podcast, Himboos. Himboos. Oh, do they have a zombie episode? They must.
They probably do.
Yeah, we'll find out. We watch movies every Friday night, and there's even a custom we just watched tier you can do where you can make us watch movies, which we do anyway, but you can make it.
Yeah.
You can make us.
You can force us to watch specific ones and then talk about them just for you.
Just for you.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Michael Vincent Bramley, Starlene Hodge, Justin Brown, and others. Check that out. Rate and review our podcast wherever you listen. It helps. Yep. And check out our new show, Badical, Badical. I'm working on new episodes. It's a bit like Dead Authors Pod. Look, it's going to be sporadic. I'm going to Sopranos it, okay?
Yeah.
I think that's all the things. Do we have any other things?
That's all the things. No. That's
Memento Mori, I guess.
Yeah, remember death.
Remember death. Don't forget it.
Yeah, check out Death.
Don't forget Ray Fiennes. He's right there.
God, he is.
Waiting on that skull.
He's going to get your skull.
Why wasn't Glenn Danzig there, honestly?
If it was Danzig playing the role, that would have been the funniest and dumbest thing. He just could, just not being able to do the character. And it's like, it doesn't matter. We wanted this.
He wants your skull.
His line, looking right at the camera when he delivers his lines.
He's just doing it like Nathan Explosion in the Blood Ocean episode of Metalocalypse.
Fuck. Make that
this time
version.
on the ocean. Okay, now you go.
Oh, fuck. I want that. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as the Corlew or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.